Okay, yeah, there we go. So, so far, does anybody have any questions regarding the feedback that I dropped in the group chat or any other thing else? If you have anything maybe on our post class that is not really clear to you, then you can just bring it up now. We discuss it and disclose it. Okay, so let's just continue with the class then, since there's no question. As I asked before, who has done what I asked you to do about the your profile detail? Let me share my screen now so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull on this light. This light is too close to my eyes. And this one, you can make it to focus on the screen. Most of us have not done our own. And some people are moving this. I don't know why they are moving it. I like to have it arranged. Anyway, this my man, Mr. Sumpton, has done his own. You can see this one too. Okay, good. This person, the first time, this person scattered everything. Molara has not done us. Most people have not done their own. Precious, you are your life now. Go and do your own. So what you are going to do is, let me just show you once again. This one, you are not going to tamper with this number, and even the email, you will not do anything with the email. So click 3 times. Over on this first name and click on it 3 times. One, two, three. I think it's even more than 3 times now. Just click until you select this first name, and then highlight everything by pressing Ctrl A. Then you press your name. The first name is Precious, right? The same thing. Double click on the last name, Ologun, and then your profile picture is going to be here. When I give you assignment, for example, in this class, we are going to be designing this contact us together after today's class. So I'm going to carry this one now, copy, copy, and I'm going to go to the students page. Now I'm going to go around to my own page now. Please, if you are not speaking, mute your microphone. And I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so this is the assignment I'm going to be giving to you. So this assignment now has been solved. So I can then go there and see, wow, you have done your assignment. Okay, I can then tick that for you that your assignment has been done because you're going to be having several assignments in this bootcamp. Okay, hope that is clear enough. If you go through the video, just go through it calmly. I make myself very explanatory in that video. So there's no any need for me to go through it again and again now. But let me remove this one from this place for now. I'm going to go back to control page. As I said, this page is for me. It's not for you to interact with. This is I'm going to be showing you the tools that are available in Figma, how you can use them. Okay. But for now, though, let me go to this bootcamp playground. As I said, this bootcamp playground page is going to be for anything like announcement, slide, information that needs to pass across to us. As of today, some of you you don't have a mouse, you have a computer, but there's no mouse, and you want to become a designer. It's not going to be that easy. Excuse me. Go and get a mouse for yourself. If you are using a mouse, it's very easy. It's not going to be the same as using touchpad. The one that you have on your laptop is touchpad. So go and get a mouse. I know some people that don't use mouse, they are designer, but um, their workflow is not the same as people that are using mouse. Using mouse will just make your work very fast. So go and get a mouse for yourself. If you don't have a mouse, Go and get a mouse for yourself because you will see me do something very easily throughout this bootcamp just because I have a mouse. And you may be battling with them that how is he be able to do this thing very fast like this? You may be thinking that it's like a magic, but it's not a magic, but because I'm using mouse. So go and get a mouse for yourself. You must not go and buy all this fancy mouse. If you feel like it, you can go and buy all those ones that are wireless. But me, I use wire mouse. Because wire always go sharp, sharp, sharp. All right. So go and get a mouse for yourself. Okay. So let's go start to this. Okay. So today is going to be about Figma. Today is going to be the one with Figma. And first of all, we're going to be talking about Figma environment. We talk about artboard. We talk about shape. We'll not cover everything about shape in this video because shape itself is something that is very complex, especially with editing and with pen tools. We're going to just talk about it briefly, and then we talk about simple alignment. Alignment in Figma specifically is simple. It's not the same as Photoshop or CorelDRAW. By the way, I've used CorelDRAW before and I've used Photoshop before, and I know some things on there can be difficult to understand, but it's not the same as Figma. Figma is very easy as far as tooling is concerned. So let me quickly show you the environment of Figma. And now you can see my screen very clearly, right? Can you see my screen very clearly? Yes. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So do you have your laptop with you there so that at least you can open your Figma and then do something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me, before I even go on to talking about Figma environment, again, this is Figma dashboard. This home. These are the file that I have opened on my Figma. I'm using Figma desktop application. So this is not my own project file. This is people that I'm working with. So let me go to my own project file. I have multiple accounts with Figma. I have about 4 accounts or 5 accounts with them. Okay. So this is the one that we are in now. So in Figma, their dashboard is very simple. Let me go to draft. So when you create a draft is just a file that you don't want to share with anybody. You just want to be the one that will be working on it. You can share with people, but those people will not be able to edit the content of that draft. You'll be the one that will be able to edit it. So that means you cannot work on a draft file with a team of people. Only you can do it. And in Figma, there's no limit on the amount of draft that you can create. So you can create as much as possible. But as far as project is concerned, the opposite of draft is project. Project is the file that you want to work with team of people. So maybe 2 or 3 designers or developers are working together. So that's project. You can anytime as you can at any time turn a draft to a project in Figma. Draft just like if you are just starting out. When you are done, then you can make it to be a project. Now in Figma, people say Figma is free, it's free. Figma is not entirely free. Oh. If you want to do something very robust with Figma, you have to pay some money. But for our own purpose, it's free. If you are using Figma free version, like myself now, Figma only give you 3 projects to work with, 3 project files to work with. As you can see, I have a system on here. I have this one for our Bootcamp. We're working on NYC mobile application, proposed mobile application, and then this one is one that I share with agency that I'm working with. So this file, if you want to create another one, to be asking you that you need to buy Figma Professional. Okay. So for now, just create a file here. If I want to create file now, I have to move one of these one to trash, which means I need to delete one of them so that I can be able to create a file to share with somebody else as a team of people. So what you are going to do is when you get to this place, if your own is 2 or 3, you can still create. If your own is 2 or 1, you can still create one more. But if your own is 3, Just edit one. So that one that you edit, then you can be able to share with me. So for example, this bootcamp now. So if I click on it, I'll be taken to this place. Then go to this share. In this share, then enter my email. My email is worktodo@gmail.com. Figma is now saying you are unable to send an invite to yourself because this is my email. But your own email will not be the same. So you'll be able to share this with me and I'll be able to edit it. All right. This is only possible if it is a project. You can see here we have team project. If it's a draft, let me take a look at one draft here. Okay, see this one. Or let me see this one. If it is a draft now, you will not be able to share it with me. If you share with me, I won't be able to edit it. So let me just make that one clear now. I want to be able to see your artboard. It will not be like you're copying something from somewhere else. So this one is a draft. But let me see a little bit about the design. This one is a draft now. If I click on share now, I can be able to share to people, but they won't be able to edit it. If I click on edit, it will be showing me that I need to move it to a project. As you can see now. To invite people to edit, move this draft into your project. Okay. So that's it. You can see I share with the owner, the guy that gave me this project. But you can only feel. I don't even want him to edit it. That's why it's a draft. Okay. So that's basically it. So let's move on to the topic of today. So let's talk about Figma environment now. Figma environment is very simple. As you can see here on this left on my left hand side, I have this one. They are called layer panes. So layer panes are when you draw something in Figma. For example, let's say I draw a rectangle. You will go to this place. So anything that you have on your canvas, you always go to this place. Just like every other design software like Photoshop, Illustrator, CorelDRAW, and so on and so forth. If I was to duplicate it again, you will see it. Is to go to this page. Okay. So let's say I put the color of this one to, let's say, blue now, and I move this one to this one on this one. So you can see the one on top is showing and it's covering the one under. So the one on top will always be the one that will be showing and covering the one under. Just like if you have a book, sorry, if you have a book that is piling up on top of one another, that's how the layer panes work. So this one I can have opacity, which means that it can be transparent, that will be able to reflect the one under it. Okay. For example, if I transparency here to something less than 100, let's say I give it, let's say I give it 50%. You'll be the one that is under. All right. So that's just about Figma layer panes. Anything that you have here, if it's a frame, it will be on the layer panes. Let me draw a frame now. You can see we have frame one, rectangle three, rectangle three. And Figma will rename it to the name of that particular tool. So if you want to rename it, you can double click here and then let's just say our frame. Okay. Or you can also click on R. I'll be teaching you a lot of shortcuts. You can be able to work very fast. If you click on Control plus R now, be able to go to this place and then give it the name that you like. That's it for Figma um, layer pane. But that's for a file. Oh. That's for a file that you're working on. Then we have pages too, the layer panes. In our own case now, we have 3 pages. This bootcamp playground is the first page. Am I the one that's edited this one like this? I'm going to lock it now. So this one is, please do not edit this thing now. If you want to go through it, you can go through it then, but don't edit it. Let me lock it so that you'll be able to edit it. So we have 3 pages here: bootcamp, playground, control page, and student page. Pages are just like a folder that you put in many design assets or stuff inside of them. That's how it works. So pages is like you are creating just like a folder. And here you want to have some things. For example, if you're working on a mobile application, on that mobile application, the brand that has that particular mobile application give you images to work with. They give you text to work with. You can create a page and call the page. Let me call this page. You can call it brand assets. And what you're going to put in that particular page, they are not your design, but they are the asset that is coming from the owners of the application, so that you'll not be able to mix things up. It's just a way of staying organized. That's what pages is. Let me redo this. Let me undo this. So you can create only 3 pages if you're working with Figma free fashion. Yeah, I can create more pages now. But if it's a draft like this one, like this Dandelion website, you can see I have inspiration. If you are designing sometime, you get inspiration for you to be able um, to come up with your own unique design. And then in fact, I have many pages. I have cover page, inspiration page, playground and wireframe, brand asset, staggered and mood board, design, and so on and so forth. And I can also add more pages after here. And then I can call this one, let's say I want to call this one testing, right? And I can even create more page and call this one prototype. I like to create pages on what I'm doing. So the first one is cover. That's just going to be about um, the branding, logos, and their name. And I'll make it a thumbnail. Making it a thumbnail will now be what is going to be showing in my draft here. Any questions so far? Okay, somebody say he has been trying to enter, but the network is terrible. Okay. So if I should make it a template, a thumbnail, that thumbnail is what is going to be showing here. Okay, like this, just like the same thing as like this. How you can make something a thumbnail is like this. That particular artboard, just right click on it and go to display. Now this one is the thumbnail now. It should be set as thumbnail. But this one is thumbnail. It's saying restore default thumbnail because the one that I used before, I deleted it and I put this one. Okay. So you can create as more page as possible if you are on draft. But if you're using Figma free fashion, you can only create just 3 pages. Oh, that's not what I want to open. That's what I want to open. Okay. So after the page, you also have a tab called asset. This one is file, your own local file. You also have a tab called asset. These assets tab are like a library. If you're working with a team, you're working with a team in UI/UX design. UI/UX design is very complex. That sometimes you're creating about, let's say you're creating mobile application that has about 200 pages, and they have buttons, several buttons. They have um, maybe one particular way of styling a tab. You don't want to be creating this thing from scratch. So it's something that we call design system. So when you create a something, the design system, you make it a design system. As an example now, just for you to understand. So that design system, then you can use over again and again and again and again and again your design. You don't have to be creating it from scratch again. And then you can say, why can't I just copy it? Why must I use it as a design system? If you copy it, if you change one thing from that particular, from the original design, the change will not reflect. That means you have to go and make changes to all of them. So both you use it in about 50 places. It will not reflect on all of them. But if you're using it as component, that's an element of design system. The change in one thing will not cover every one of them. Okay, that's the just like the basic meaning of design system. So all of those things are what Figma terms are assets, and they are here. So you can have a button component, you can have a tab component, Some of you don't know the meaning of tab now. You see, you get to know all of these things. You can have a navigation bar as component and so on and so forth. So all these ones are coming from popular library. Like we have iOS, iPad. You know, all these big companies, all these big tech companies, they have libraries that they use to design their own software. So in their own willingness, some of these things that they design, they just release it to the public to design so that people can use it too. Especially if you're working with on their platform, you're working if you are designing mobile application for iOS, not for Android now. So it'll be very easy for you to just go through them and see. That's what this asset is for. But we are not going to be dealing with this asset most of the time. Okay? And the other things, so but I don't want to stress them in this video, in this lecture, because we are not going to be needing them like libraries, almost the same as asset too. Okay, that's for layer plane in Figma. The next thing is this toolbars. This toolbars is everything that you're going to be needing to work to create something in Figma. Is where they live. We have this one is um, move to, we have hand to, scale to, we have frame, we have section, we have slice. So I'm still going to go through them. We have rectangle, line, arrow, eclipse, polygon, stars, and we have this pen tool. Pen. Beginner always feel like pen tool is hard to use. It was hard for me too. Pen, pencil, we have text, we have comments. Okay, if you want to comment, you know, Figma, as I said before, that Figma allow teams to collaborate. If you feel like this thing is not good, you want to tell maybe junior designer or you want to tell senior designer, or even your any member of your teammates, whether the person is a marketer or anybody, you can use this comment to tell them. Just simple. For example, if I want to say that, um, can you can you export this thing for us? You can click on comment. You can see it has been selected now. Then you over on this particular and click on it, and then you can type. Can you export this slide for us for later reference or something like that? That's how comments work. If you click on it now, the comments will be here, and then I will get notification that you drop a comment on the file that we are working on in my email, so I can then come there and see that oh, there's a comment here that I need to check out.
Don't worry, it's me that I'm going home. I left you for Wednesday until okay.
Hello, please,
They
if
are
you're not
fast.
talking, please mute your mic.
They are no longer Wednesday.
Who is that speaking?
Look, please, is there any other bag? Let's say a big nylon.
Yes,
Thank
I want to
you.
mute the person. Okay, I think she has realized. Okay, good. So let's continue. That's it about comments. So let me select my move tool again, and we have this one action. So this action is when it's more like a shortcut. It's where plugin lives, and the asset that we already saw here is also here, and we have plugins and widgets. We learn about plugins. Figma is a very robust application just because of its enable plugins. So plugins are just like a tiny bit of software in Figma that allows us to do more than what Figma can do natively. So with plugin, we can do all sorts of things that we can do in Photoshop, but it's not in Figma. So you can use plugin to do them. You can use plugin to get images. You can use plugin to get icons that you don't have to design by yourself again. So plugins is a very useful tools in Figma that allows us to do more than what Figma can do natively. That's just the meaning of plugin. Suppose that I want to design, let's say I want to design this mouse now. I want to design this mouse. Or let me say, I just want to use icon of mouse. I have two ways of doing it. I can always start by from scratch and design mouse from scratch by myself. But that's going to take me like days or sometimes hours. So I can just go to this place, action, plugin. I use this one, Iconiva, a lot. So this Iconiva is a library of um, icons. So here, then you can search for mouse. So you can see we have mouse now that I can then use on my file if I want to use a mouse. Although this is not like this one, because this one is just like simple icons. And we use this time of don't reinvent the wheels in case you want to use things like alarm icon, location icon. You don't have to start it from scratch. You don't have to design it from scratch. Just use this icon. Then you want to search for location now. You see, we have a location. So we use this time. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't design the thing that people already familiar with. They are used with it. Just use them in the library. Yeah, so we use icon. We use plugin in Figma to do that. Okay. And here we have the inspector. The inspector is on my right side, right hand side. We have design and we have prototype. On the design files, if I click on, let's say I draw a rectangle now. This rectangle now, I can see the position on my Canva. I can see the position. This is horizontally and this is vertically. And we can see if I want to rotate it or not, or those kind of things. We can say, what's this one? Same thing as rotation. If you want to do it in a 90-degree now, and we have layout, the width, the height, and so on and so forth. And then we have the prototype. This one we used to join screens together to monitor movements. When we are talking about user flows in UI designs, this prototype brings together with things that we call prototype. So we are going to, this one just like it enables us to stimulate the way user is going to be moving from one screen to another. That's the meaning of prototype in Figma. And it enables us to add some animations to our designs. It's robust. We are going to be seeing some aspect of it when we get to when we design something robust and we want to add prototype to it. I'm just showing you overview now. But the way it works is like you connect one dot. You have to create frame if you want to use prototype. Let's say you have this frame now, and I give it this pink color, and I have another one. I give it this nice green color. So if I want the user to move from this place to this place when they click it, I can go to prototype and then I can draw a point from this place to this place. Okay, you can see there's more menu here. This on tab means that if you start click on here, then you get to this place. Now I will not show you because that's not the topic of today. I'm just showing you that we have it in Figma. If I let me show you the way it is, it can be sometimes it can be crazy. It can be very, very crazy if you're dealing with application that have about maybe let's say 150 screens, 200 screens. It can be that crazy. Okay, I'm just showing you the environment of Figma before we move on to each of these two first. Okay, this is one of the applications that we work on as a team. So if I was to click on this prototype now, you see that we have a lot of wires. I think myself is a little bit slow today. So you can see we have a lot of wire from one place to another, just to tell the developer that this is how the flow is going to look like. Okay, so it can be crazy sometimes. We are not going to focus on that for now. Later, we will. Let's go back to our file. Okay, so let me just delete this one. Okay, this is so just for me to show you. If you create the same thing, you can leave your own the way it is. Let me go back to the design. Okay, and then we have, of course, this Canva. This Canva is where you're going to be putting your artboard, your frame, your rectangle, and everything that you will be designing. So this is where they are going to be. This your Canva. All right. Okay, so let me move on to this control page because I'm going to be doing my stuff in the control page. Let me get this out of the way first. Okay, so let's move on to the first tool. That's move tool. If you draw anything in your Canva, for example, this frame, you'll be using the move tool to move it around. That's what the move tool is doing. So you can see now. If I was to click, right click and hold, then I can move it all around like this from one point to the other. Okay, that's the meaning of move to. And if you over to this edge like this, you will see that this move to this console is changing to resizing. So you can resize this to any size that you like. You can see as I'm resizing it this size. This is the width. That's the size horizontally. It's changing. So you can go here too and type whatever you like. Let's say I want to make it to be 4,000. You can see change it accordingly. The same thing if you want to resize it vertically. Okay, that's on the y-axis. You can see the way it is. And then you can also do the same thing here. This I want to make this on 2,000 now. There we go. That's the move to for you. And if you click on this drop down menu, we have other tools like R2 scale. This scale is very important. You will use scaling a lot. But let's briefly talk about the R2. R2 is just for you to palm around. So if you want to go from one point to another, this one will not move your artboard. You'll just be able to palm your through your Canva like this. Because you have many files, you can be able to palm like this by clicking and then dragging. That's what R2 does for you. Let's talk about scaling. Actually, this scaling I won't be able to see it in practice fully fledged because if you want to see scaling in practice, you need to have some meaningful design. But now we don't have any. But let me just draw a rectangle. So this rectangle now, let me change the width to 800 and then their height to 1000. Let me delete this one. Okay, let me teach you one trick. If you, as we create this rectangle now, let me give it fill. Let's go with this blue. We can duplicate it. You can use Ctrl D to duplicate. Let me rename before I duplicate, let me rename this frame first. Let me call it our frame. I will talk about frame when we get to frame. For this rectangle, let me call it our rectangle too. Or let's say our rectangle. So I don't waste time typing that. So this rectangle now, if I want to duplicate it, I can press Ctrl D on my keyboard. And as you can see, it has been duplicated. So I can then move it like this. Okay. And then I can give it another color. Maybe I want to give it this orange now. That's one way to duplicate something in Figma. The other way to do it is by press and hold Alt. You press and hold Alt, you will see, let me zoom in. You will see that this cursor is changing to two. One black, the other one is white. And it's showing that you want to duplicate this. So if you want to do it now, just click and hold Alt and then you drag like this. It will be duplicated. Okay. So we can give this one another color. This I want to do this one now. This green. Okay. So I want to increase this one. I want to increase it so that this one has 800 now. I want it to have 800% 800 is 1600. I want it to have 1600. How will I do it? And as this one is changing, I want this one to change too. So this one will now be 1600 and this one will be 2000. The width will be 1600 and the height will be 2000. How can I do it? I can do it like this actually. If you click on this one, we have not talked about this layout, this width and height, but just like, let's say, let me call this now like a glass into it. So this width and height, just click on this one that is called lock proportion. Okay, lock aspect ratio. If you load this aspect ratio now, if you are increasing this one here, this one will be increasing. That's what it means. But I don't want to go to that now. So as I click on it, I can then select my scale. So this scale now, you can see it's saying that the width is 800 and then the height is 1000, and that's 1x. That's 1 times. If I make it 2 times now, this one will now turn to 1600 and this one 2000. Okay, so that's the work of scaling. And what that is doing is that it does not let the width and the height changing as you are resizing it. This is now you're going to be doing most of the time, though. This is how you're going to be doing most of the time. You're just going to click on the scale tool and then just click and drag. As you click and drag, you can see now that both of them are increasing at the same time. So this way, you don't lose their width and height. Okay. If you want to just increase, as I showed you before, if you want to increase only the width, then you can click on the V. That's the shortcut for move to this one, V, and then you can do this one like this. You see the reason why this one is doing like this is because of we've locked the aspect ratio here. So if it's still locked, it will still be increasing by itself. So let me unlock this one. And if you want to do it like this, you can then move it like this by itself. Okay, that's how you can resize something with scale. You may feel like this scale is not really important, but it's important when you're dealing with picture. When you are dealing with picture, you don't want the picture to get distorted. So you want to make sure that the picture is still looking as it is now, even though you want to increase it. That's where the scale comes into play. We'll be seeing the use case in our future example. Okay, so let me move on to frame now. So this frame is very important, very, very important. Let me delete this one. Anything that you're going to be doing in Figma, mostly are going to be in frame. So think of frame as like a box. Think of it as a box. So inside a box, you can put in many things. You can put in rectangle, you can put in an ellipse or circle, you can put in another frame. Inside of the box, you can put another box. You can inside the box, you can put bags, you can put clothes, you can put anything that you like inside of a box. That's what a frame is. And you have many ways of creating frame in Figma. The most simple way of doing it, though, you just click on the frame button like this, right click on your mouse, and then you right click and drag, as I've been doing, and then you see you have it. So this frame in our layer pane is there. It's saying frame 1. So you can rename it to whatever you like. Let's say nice frame. Okay. So this nice frame now, of course, you can give it the color. We have not talking about this inspector. You can give it any color of your choice. You can do anything that you like with it. But for now, what I'm going to do is inside of it, I want to create another frame. Okay. So the first one is white, and this one is not saying frame 1. You can give it, let's now give it, click on this. If you click on this sample color, then you can pick a color that is in your design. Let's say I want to use this orange now, then I can click on here. So here now, we have one frame inside of another frame. And as you can see in our layers, they are stacking inside one another. So the first one, which is like a parent of this one, is not having this one inside of itself. So this one is inside its parent's frame. Let me even call this one parent. Let me call this one children. No, let me call this one. Let me call this one grandparent. Grandparent. Like that. And then this one parent. And then we can create another frame. The shortcut to create a frame is F. So you can see sometimes you not see me clicking this now. I'll just press F on my keyboard because I'm used with it. I don't really go to this and be clicking on frame. I just press F. So get used with this shortcut. It will help your workflow a lot. See, when it comes to design, Most people that will be coming to you, they'll be saying that you only have 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 weeks, sometimes even a week to do this design. So can you please get it done? So if you can be able to know the shortcut, it will skyrocket your workflow. So just click on F on your keyboard. And then once this particular tool is selected like this, is highlighted in this blue color, then you can click and drag. Okay. And as you can see, because I'm inside this parent frame, this this frame now, this frame one automatically go inside this parent frame. Okay. So let's say I want to give this one now. I'm going to sample the color again. I want to give this blue, and then we have it. So we have one frame inside of another frame, inside of another frame, and the list is endless. So that's what frame is in Figma. Anything that you're going to be creating in Figma is going to be inside of a frame. Now, you may be asking that when we are talking about user interface, there are many sizes to it, to the design. Because if you are designing mobile application, it's not the same as you are designing a website. It's not the same as you are designing um, web application. It's not even the same as the same designing smart watches. So if I'm designing mobile application now, how do I know the size of a frame that I need to use? Or if I'm designing website now, how do I know the size of a frame that I need to use? That's a very good question. And how do you do that? In Figma, there is some pre-made template, pre-made frame that you can use to maneuver your design. So this is how you do it. As I said to you that the shortcut for frame is F. If you click on F, you can see we have this frame. We have phones, we have tablets, we have desktop, we have presentation, we have watch, paper, social media, Figma community. If you're in the community, you are providing some value there. We have archive. I think these are the things that are not really in use again. Let's take a look at phone first. So in this phone, we have different sizes of different phone. Me, I'm using Samsung now. Another person that is using, excuse me, one of our my team member just joined me. Mr. Theophilus, are you there? Mr. Theophilus, are you there? It's alerting me that is on the meeting now, and I can't find me here. Okay, I think it's network. Just call. Okay, please. Sorry for that. Let's continue. I was talking about frame, right? And where did that stop?
We are discussing about the templates to be
Okay,
used.
okay. The template. Okay. So let me press F again. You can either press F or you can press A. Both of them are the same. You can press, if you press F, you will see the template come. And you can also press A on your keyboard. They come. So I'm using Samsung. My own Samsung screen is about, I've forgotten, but it's about 400 and something times 4 something. When people are using iPhone, it is not the same. So what you are going to do is that actually this is not a problem. Actually, it's not a problem. You're going to select the one that you feel like your developer is going to be okay with. So if you are designing for iPhone now, it is okay that you go for the iPhone that is the latest. That's what I like to do. Go for the latest iPhone, and then you can design on it. Suppose you are designing um mobile application for iPhone, then you can go with I think this iPhone Pro Max. I don't even know the one that is latest in iPhone now. I don't like iPhone so much. I like Samsung. So yeah, now you can see now we have this one is saying iPhone 16 Pro Max, and then you have the size 440. You don't the height is not really important because the height the height is based on the content that you have inside a particular frame. That's why in your phone you can scroll. You can see the way WhatsApp is. You can scroll depending on the content that you have. So the height is not important, but the width is what is important. And if you want something else, you can actually go there and then you have Android, iPhone 6. No, no, this day Figma used to have iPhone plus Samsung before. What they have here is mostly iPhone. That is because most of these screen they look alike. They are similar. The size are similar. For example, this one we have 430 for iPhone 14 and 15 Pro Max. And iPhone the same thing with iPhone 16 Plus. So it's not a problem actually. Well, as far as phone is concerned, where there can be a problem is desktop, is a website where there can be a problem. That's when we talk about responsive design. Okay. Before I go to that, let me just quickly intro, um, introduce one of my team member. Mr. Theophilus, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
You're very welcome. This is one of my team member. As you can see, we have the same name, but
Welcome,
we are
sir.
not family. We are not family. We are just team members. So we are creating kind of a design agency. It's not going to be like what we are going to be doing is just teaching people how to design, but we are going to be
Okay.
collecting real world projects for complaints. That's
Okay.
our main goal. But along the way, we want to be able to train people because we want to bring some people on board to join our team. And our aim is not only limited to be able to design world-class interface in UI/UX design. We are going to cut across many fields as far as designs and even development is concerned. We're going to cut across service design, interaction designs, graphic designs, branding, motion designs, 3D designs, and so on and so forth. So, Mr. Theophilus, let me quickly, please, let me introduce him to us.
Okay.
Let me introduce him. Don't introduce yourself. Let me introduce you.
Okay. Okay.
So, his name is Adeleke Theophilus Oluwaferami. He studied mathematics at the University of Ilorin, and he has years of experience in graphic design. So, you can see somebody that studied mathematics. That means he's well conversant with using mathematical logic to solve real world problems. And he's a certified mathematician, by the way. And because of his experience in graphic design too, he's also good as far as visual is concerned. He's excellent in it. You can follow him on you can see some of his work on LinkedIn. We both serve in the same place in UU. That's where we met in Epton ICT. And he's currently undergoing a training to become a professional cybersecurity, which make him to be different from other graphic designer that you might see there. So it's somebody that I know very well. I myself, I do design, I do coding. So this is like creativity blend with how would I even put it now? Blend with analytical way of solving problems. Did you get? And that's just basically about it. And his goal is to help brand craft engaging experiences that convert customers and build lasting loyalty. So, Mr. Theophilus, thank you so much for joining us. Please say hi to us.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Idu Adeleke, my, do I say namesake or son namesake? So it's nice meeting you guys. As he has said, I am Adeleke to Vilos Oluwafermi. I graduated with the mathematics from the Department of Mathematics, University of Ilorin. I'm a graphic designer, a mathematician, and potential cybersecurity analyst. So this is what I do. And as you have said earlier, that we are on a journey of creating an agency whereby we can be helping people to do their work, and he is my oga, is my boss. He's my boss as a UI and UX designer, and also on he has experience on front end engineer. So he's my boss, and He's good. He's somebody that is hardworking. He's passionate, and I can say that you guys are lucky to learn or dying. You are really, really lucky, and I know that you guys are already enjoying his class, and he has been giving you a lot of knowledge where you cannot see for free. That is the best. Like, you cannot see it for free before you can see somebody that will teach you UI and UX design for free. Is rare. So it's a privilege that you guys have, and I hope that you guys use this privilege very well. You guys have the understanding, ask question, and make use of this uh, privilege. So this is just going to be my short brief. And once again, it's nice meeting you guys. It's nice meeting you guys. It is nice. So let me hand over to my boss, my Oga, Mr. Idu. So I'm Adeleke Theophilus. We bear the same surname. We hear the same son. I'm
Thank you
Theophilus. So
so
we both
much.
have
Thank
we
you.
met at Necessent ICT, as he has said. So he's doing UIs and UX. Also, he's doing front end engineer at Necessent ICT here in We are both corpers and we are serving there. So I personally am a graphic designer.
Jack
I'm a
of all
graphic
trades. So I'm a jack of all trades. I do two things at the same time. And I'm even looking at the things to do now.
designer.
So thank you so much for joining us,
Yeah, thank you.
Mr.
This,
Theophilus.
yeah,
He's
this
somebody that
encouraging.
sometimes, you pause and you look at the way they do things and you try to mimic the way they do things. It's one of them. There are some people that I have in my circle that they don't know that I copy their way of doing things, but I do. So when somebody that is doing something that is great, just try to, take one or two things from their actions and just do them. So thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
maybe one of these days you come
Thank you
and
for
teach
having
us
me.
how to be creative.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay, all right.
I'll be always
So
available.
thank you so much for joining
All
us.
right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. So let's continue. Uh, I was talking about a problem that could arise from having a designing interfaces for as websites, right? So website, you can access website through all your devices. You can access website through your laptop. You can even access it through your desktop computer. You can access it through your tablets. You can access it to your mobile phone, and so on and so forth. I think some smartwatches can even access internet, right? So now the problem is that which screen will you design for? Because if you design a screen for, let's say for example, desktop computer, then that means it's not going to be looking good on what's it called, on laptop very well. If it looks good on laptop, it's not going to be looking good on mobile. That's when it comes to. I know some of you know this. I just want to tell you what I don't know because some people are very beginner. So people like this, they don't even know much about computer at all. And some of them are in this class. They don't. So yeah, this something on computer is not easy for them. So that's how to break everything down now. That's why I call it like a boot camp. Like you get to know the nitty-gritties of things. That's why we will have something that is called responsive design. Responsive design. So responsive design is just like the idea of when you are doing designing the interface for desktop computer or this desktop computer on desk, then do the same thing to mobile, okay, and tablet. So this tablet is going to be a little bit different, the same thing, but the layer is not going to be the same. That's what it means. Okay. So for example, in Figma now we have the desktop. This is a desktop, and it's a typical desktop frame or template. So this typical desktop template is 1440. The height is not really matter here, but this is the width that we mostly use. So this desktop computer is the same thing as you will do it, the same way you are going to do it with laptop computer. But for mobile, it's not going to be the same. And tablet is not going to be the same. That's why you also have tablets in Figma. Let me even press F now. You can see we have tablets. So these are a possible tablet that you want to design for. And you can see this one, Surface Pro. Some tablets is as wide as computer screen themselves, but there are some that are smaller, like this iPad Pro 11. So you can then create this one. You can see the iPad is a bigger than mobile phone. So you can then design it for iPad. But today, because of the way front-end developer are doing things now, you don't really design for iPad and design for phone. If you design for desktop and design for phone, it's okay. So that's how we have these different templates in Figma. So let me show you in this website. I think I do some responsive design for this guy. We have not talked about shape, and 1 hour has gone already. Anyway, you can see this is a website. Let me click on. You can see this is why 1440 by width. As I said, the art is not really, it does not really matter because it depends on the content that is inside. So this website now, this is how it's going to look like on laptop or desktop computer. So this is how it's going to look like. And the person, the developer, I myself, I develop it and I know how this thing works. Can be able to develop this, but then some people don't know how to do it for phone, for mobile. That's why as a designer, you have to provide them the way it's going to look like on mobile too. So this is the website on desktop. So for me to be able to show it to the developer, I design responsiveness. Put this one here.
Your screen is not showing.
My screen is not showing.
It's showing. We are seeing it.
It's showing, yeah. I think it's your network. I think it's your
Because I
network.
never, I did not want to share my screen. So here now, you can see we have the mobile version. As you can see, all of these menu now, there is no way they can find their expression on the mobile again. You have to hide them somehow. That's why we have this hamburger button. You are familiar with this, I know. When you click on this hamburger now, then all this one can slide in, maybe from top or from side, whichever way. And that's just what it means. You can see the text now is smaller, even though it's the same thing, but it's smaller. And you can see this form on the desktop. They are side by side, but here they are stacking. So this you can see the way it is looking like now. You are just basically you are just increasing the size and you are changing the layout. That's the difference between designing for desktop and designing the same thing for mobile. And that's the term that we call responsive design. So your design is responsive on mobile, even though what you design it for is desktop. You make it responsive. So it's looking good too on mobile. Okay. And as you can see, all these cards, all the services cards here that we have here, eh, here the way they are looking like, and here they are stacking because there's no space. And you can see this one, the way it's big, that's just what it means. They are responsive design. All right. So that's it about frame. And I said I use frame to create Asbot. So henceforth, we're going to be putting all our things that we're going to be creating inside one frame or the other. Okay. So let me remove all these frame that I created for all this phone. I'm going to remove this one for now. Let me remove everything. Let me see me. So I'm going to press F or A on my keyboard. So that we can have this one tablets on 440.
Sorry, sir. I think some people hands are up.
Okay, thank you so much. Miss Esther, so I can see your hand up.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please, I'm kind of lost in the responsive design, so I wanted you to please explain it again. Thank you.
Okay. So let me go back to this Dandelion website. So when we're talking about responsive design, okay, when you design, what you are doing is you are designing for screen. That's the basic work of user interface designer. You are designing for screen. This could be computer screen or mobile screen. Okay. So if it is a mobile application, you can access mobile application from your laptop. It's for mobile application. It does not have to be responsive. But if it's a website now, you can access a website or a web application from your laptop, and you can also access it from your mobile phone. Is that okay? So when you access it from your desktop now, the way it's going to be looking is not going to be the same way it's going to be looking on mobile phone. Because as you know, with laptop, the screen is wider. The screen is more wide. You have more space to design to do a lot of stuff. But on mobile, the screen is small. So how then can you make what you design for desktop or for desktop or for laptop look good on mobile? Because if you just design it now, if you just leave it this way, this is going to look now on desktop. In fact, let me even remove this one for now. So let me zoom in. See what we have here now. This how it's going to look on laptop now. But you can it can look like this on mobile phone. Everything is just going to be scattered. Your phone is around this place, does not have all the space. So the act or the practice of making the same thing that is on desktop or on laptop look good on mobile is what we call responsive design. So you are going to take the same design and you are going to make it look good on mobile. You can see the mobile now. As a time is mobile V, mobile fashion. So here, what we have here now, this test need a house painting estimate is here now. We don't have all the space to make this one to be side by side. So we have it stacking on top one another. And then you can see all these men now, they can't find their expression, they can't find their room on mobile again. So you have to hide them onto this hamburger. If you click on this hamburger menu now, then it is sliding. Now, because of the experience of the guy that will develop this thing, I don't have to be doing that. That's the meaning of responsive design. So responsive design is just you making the thing that's looking good on laptop to make it look good again on mobile. Let me show you in practice. That's it according to design, but I want to show you a little bit of it in development. Let me go to all in painting. So you can see now, I access this website now from my laptop, and you can see the way it's looking like. So if I want to access this from mobile now, it's not going to be the same like this. So let me stimulate it for you. Don't have to do this. So this is not a job. So you can see now. Let me go to phone. Let's say this one. You can see the way it's looking like now on phone. You can see the way it looks like on laptop. So you can see it's scaling now. This how it looks like on laptop. As you are going, everything is shrinking. It's shrinking. It's shrinking. It's shrinking. So that it can look good too on mobile. This is looking at mobile. And if I should do it this way, now it's back to desktop. I think this phone is having some bug. That's why it's dancing like this. So you can see the way it looks like. Now that is different. So you making a design looking that's looking great on desktop to look great too on mobile is what we call responsive design. If you don't do it, it will not do itself. Oh. Maybe you think that if you don't implement it to look good on mobile, it will just look good on mobile by itself. It will not. It will be shown just like this on mobile, and everything will just be just scatter. So you have to make it responsive because this will come a lot. They will say you should be able to know the um, the best practice to responsive design as a UI designer. But for you, you don't have any problem as far as that is concerned. All you need to do is just to bring this thing and then scale it down. For example, this test on my laptop, I have it as 60. The font size is 60, and then on my phone, I have it as 28. You can see this thing is smaller. That's what you need to do. But the same is not. The story is not the same for front-end developer. You have to know the best practice to do it because we have two approaches. We have mobile first and we have desktop first. Okay, so that's the meaning of responsive design. And I hope you get it better now. Did you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let's continue. So as I said that going forward, we are going to be putting all our design inside of a frame because now we know the meaning of a frame. Okay, so I'm going to create a frame now, and I'm going to use this template desktop. That's 1440. Let me zoom in. Okay. Um, let's leave it as white for now. Let me rename it. Let me call it playground. Maybe later we rename it or create another one. But for now, let me just call it playground. So after frame, we also have sections. So what are sections? Well, when you have a box, right, you can also have a wrapper. That wrapper now you can then put box inside of it. And if it's plenty boxes, maybe 3 or 4 boxes, then you can put that all those boxes inside of it. That's just meaning of section. So section is just like a wrapper. So frame is like a box, as I told you, but section is just like a wrapper. So you put in frame inside of a sections. But you can't put in now using the analogies of wrapper and box now, I think it's not going to work now. But here you cannot put a section inside of a frame. It will not work. You can only put a section or a frame inside of a section. But that's not a problem actually, because the reason why Figma introduced this section is for you to be able to showcase your design to a developer. If you are designing, you will not be using section to create your artboard. For example, let me go to this place. Okay, I can turn this one into section. Let me create let's say I have this frame and I have another frame inside of it like this. And let me give it this very crazy color. So this color now, this one is a frame, and this one is inside another frame. I'm unable, I will be unable to turn it to a section now because it's always a frame because of the fact that this particular frame is inside another frame. So you will not be able to have a section inside of another frame. Okay. The reason for section is for you to be able to show your work to the developer. For example, when I'm done with this Dandelion website, this is the home page. This is the contact page, about us page, gallery. These are a page that on their own they stand alone. They are not connected with any other page, or they are not like they don't have similar way of connecting to any page. I have all these ones. I have this one services page. And because of the thing that this particular firm is into, painting company, they are doing interior painting, exterior painting, cabinet painting, strata painting, dark and face painting, and so on and so forth. So all of these things now, they are all in service. So I created a frame for them, and then I put it inside of a section. You can see this is a section now. Okay, so all of this frame now, they are inside of a section. So the developer now, as it's coming, I'll be like, okay, these are the services pages. We know that. And after that, I also have this one, services area. This is a painting company in Canada. And there's one in Vancouver. Canada has many streets. Vancouver, Burnaby, and so on and so forth. So all of these one now, I put them inside of services area. This is the area that this particular painting contractor covers. That's how I call it, services area. So now it will be easy for developer to know, okay, this is about services area and so on and so forth. That's the purpose of the section. And I think I'll do the same thing here. I'm doing some design for this company that I have that we are using templates, multiple templates. So when I'm doing the templates, I put all the templates inside a particular section just to annotate that, okay, the developer, these are related items. So you can see here, we have 5 templates, and then all of these one, they are like they are not full websites. They are just like a templates for marketing purpose, and then I put them inside this particular section. And you can have one section inside of another section, if possible. But you can have a section inside a particular frame. Okay, let's continue. Okay, that's it for section. This slice, I don't think I've not used this slice before. But what this slice do is it just help you to export a part of your design. I think like this. Then this part of your design, suppose you have a particular design, you'll be able to export it out. I don't use it, to be honest. See, for example, let's say we have color now. Let me use gradient. There are some tools that you not use. This is a design software. Some things are just there for their own sake. They are not for your own sake. So let's say we have this. Let me make it monochromatic. Stuff like this. So if I want to export this particular area out now, if I don't want to export everything, then I think you can use slides for that. I'm saying nothing now because I'm not even sure. Then click on export. Exactly. So you can export this particular area out. But you will not be doing this all the time. If you want to create this particular, to export this particular section, so why would you even in the first place create all this big area? Hmm? That's just like my own um, side of it. If I want to create design for this size, I'll just create a frame that is equal to this size, not big frame that will be exporting some side of it. But in some cases, if you want to, you can just use that slice. So let's now move on to shape 2. So we have rectangle, we have line, we have arrow, ellipse, we have polygon, we have star, and we have image of video and of video. Let me remove this guy here and put it back to white. Okay, I'm coming. Please let me take a look at the group chat. Okay, I got kicked out from the meeting. That's your network. It's your network. But I hope you can hear me clearly, right? If you are still with me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We are hearing you clearly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let's start with rectangle. Rectangle, all of these one are just like a building block to design. Hmm? They can use rectangle to create a rectangle. You can use rectangle to create rectangle, or you can use it to create square. So if you click here now, you can see the control, the shortcut is R. You can either go here like this, press it, or you can press R on your keyboard, and then you can create a rectangle by just click and drag. You want to make it square, you click on shift, you hold shift. Square means that it will have the same width and the same height. That's just what it means. Most of you know this. That's just what it means. And you can give it any color of your choice. Now there's more to it actually, because with shape like this, they affect up this, and you can enter into edit mode. You enter into edit mode by clicking on them and press enter. Then you can do even more stuff with them. But I'm not going to go to them now. When I'm talking about pen 2, I'm going to go to them, this which is not the topic of today. Probably maybe next class or next class. Talk about that. Let me leave this one for now. So we also have let me even talk about more property. So this is rectangle. Let me now go on to giving it a color. It has more property. Now let us be taking about the design property one after the other. So this line, this alignment now, we can, we are inside of a frame now. This is our playground frame, and inside of it we have a rectangle. So this rectangle now is inside this particular playground frame. So we can align it however we want. Let me give it some, let me make it to be 1000, and then make the height to be 800. So if you want to align it to the left here, this position, another position, we have alignment. You can just align it to the left. That's what this one is for. If you align to the left, it will go to this, it will be stick with the left side of this frame, like this. Okay. If you want to align it to the right, click on this. Okay, now we are talking about alignment, because after shape, I said we are going to talk about alignment. You can align it to this place. That's right. If you want to align it to top, then click on this one, align top. And you can see the shortcut there, Alt W. This one is Alt R. Okay, Alt G. And this one is Alt A. Okay. And then if you want to align to the bottom, then click on this one, align to the bottom. So this one is left, this one is right, top, and bottom. But what about this one? This one is if you want to align it to horizontal center, which means it's going to be aligned like this to the center of the frame. So let me even make it like this. You can see now it's aligning to the center horizontally. This is horizontal, this is vertical. So if you want to align it to come to vertical center, then you can click on this one like this. That's alignment vertical. Okay, so you can play around with this one more. If I let me even make it a little bit smaller. So again, okay, this one make it to come to the center like this. And if I want to align to the bottom, onto this particular center, there are more to it. We'll talk about this later. That's it about alignment. Now, position. Position is where it is on this particular frame. You can see it's saying that X 426 and Y 227. It just means that this has 426 space to this left. You can see now 426 space to this left. The way I glance through the space is clicking on Alt. If you click on Alt, I saw you how to duplicate with Alt before. If you click on Alt, and this thing is going to, you want to duplicate, then if you over to the edge, don't click anything, no, just over to the edge of here, then you'll be able to see the space here, like this. Okay, that's just it. So if you want it to stick to this place now, you can just change this one to 0, like this. Follow the same thing as pressing align left. And if you want to stick to this top, you can make it to be like this. Okay. But you will not be using this one most of the time. You'll be moving it with your own move tool. We don't even have to worry about this one. But if you are measuring the size, because when we talk about design principle, we're going to come back to spacing. Then it's going to come in handy when we want to know the amount of space that this element has to from far from this left. Okay. So um and then this also has some property like corner radius. If you go to this place, I don't want to talk on this one now because if you talk on this one now, if you are still a very beginner, it may confuse you. This constraint, it just means that you want to pin the rectangle so that it can be able to be responsive somehow. But let's just keep that one for now. Let's move on to another property, which is this corner radius. This corner radius now, as you can see now, does not this rectangle does not have any curve. It's just like normal box. But if you want to give it corner radius, you want to make it looking round, you can then increase this corner radius like this. Because all of them are increasing by themselves like this. Okay, they're increasing. Alternatively, you can also just over we have 4 dots. This one, they all make corner radius. Then you can choose this one like this and do them. But you can see all of them are just changing at once. If you want to do them independently, you can come to this place in the filter corners, click on it, and then you have access to all of the corners. This one is top left. So if you click on this one only this one will be changing. So you can change this one to let's say 30. In fact, let's use 300. Okay, and then this one to 300. This. And let's say we want to put in circle. Now we're going to talk about circle. Okay, you can see this one is kind of handy if you want to. Let me create circle. Let me duplicate it. Just want to see a little bit of the use case. You can see now. You can call this a logo now if you like it. So that's how uh, it is. We're going to stop there for rectangle now. The next thing is line. We have line, we have arrow, we have polygon. But I'm going to leave this one for next class. Okay, because we talk about a lot of things today. I don't want to use one day to talk about everything. It may be overwhelming. So what I'm going to do is we are going to create something together now. As you can see, I have this design here. So let's quickly run it together. So this is going to be your assignment. Okay. And I think we are going to be using some elements that we have not even talked about, like text. But text is very simple. So we have this design now. As you can see, this design is just like a normal size of desktop template. So let's create it together. What we are going to do first is what? We're going to grab our frame. Press F on your keyboard, then go to desktop 4040.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Um, some people in the class are finding it difficult to join meeting, this meeting online, and someone asked that if if it's possible that this class could be recorded so that it might be watched back again. I don't know.
Okay, that means you joined the meeting late. The class is recording. We are recording it. So after now, I'm going to send the link to the recording to the group chat. But it is their network. It is their network.
That's what I
Class,
thought some of them
we
do.
are recording it. It is their network.
Thank you, sir.
Whoever say is not able to join the class now, the class does not need anybody to admit it now. Again, I've changed the settings. So it is their own network. It is not from my side. It is not from anybody's side. It's their own side. So let's continue. I want us to. I don't want anything to be more than 2 hours. Okay. So let's say we want to design this particular section of the website. This is a contact us section, as you will see. So this is going to be your assignment now. So again, grab the frame. But let me do that again. Press F on your keyboard or A. So grab the frame, desktop, click on it, and then I'm going to bring my own here. So first thing first, you rename it. So call it contact us, contact us. Okay. So this is not the way I design. Oh. If I want to design, I use things like layer, grid, all of these things to set up myself for good alignment. But because of the way I'm going to be doing it now, it's not going to. I don't want it to overwhelm beginners. So next thing is I'm going to draw a frame now. Let's use this one as a reference. So we have the frame to 688 by 587. So I'm going to draw a frame. You can see now I'm drawing a frame inside of a particular frame. So this frame now I told you that if you go to fill color and then you click on this eyedropper tool or sample color tool, you can click another color on your artboard or on your canvas. For example, this one, you can click on this one, you can pick this yellow, you can put anything. But mostly you will not be coming to this place. So get used with always using shortcuts. If you press I on your keyboard now, the two will be selected. Then you can pick any color that you like. But now do I'm going to pick out this black. Okay. If I let me even let me check the width and height. So our width is the same, but the height is 977. So I want this height to be 9772. 977. Okay. And I want to change the color to black. If you want to change the color to black in Figma, come to this field tab, and if you put just zero, you can zero. We're going to talk about hexadecimal code. When we talk about color, because color is a kind of complex stuff. Something we are UA design, the complex stuff. Colors has different attributes, and as a with naming them, it's not something that I can explain. We can even have a whole class talking about color. But let me just put into 60 now. This zero will not be black. Okay. If your own, after you put your own, if it's changing the opacity here, you can make it 100%. We're still going to talk about opacity later on. But for now, though, I'm going to select the one that is inside of here. I'm going to change it to white. Black is 0000000, and white is FFFFFF. Okay. So this is contact us.
Excuse me, sir.
Are you there?
I'm a little bit lost. A
About
bit
the color?
lost. Yes, this color. Yes, I'm at that color
I,
side. I'm stuck.
okay. Okay. The thing is that when it comes to color, we have different ways of representing color. You can use RGBA.
Okay.
RGBA just means red, blue, and green, and they are primarily the basic color of light that we use in design. And we can use CMYK. CMYK is just stand for that's yellow, magenta. C. The first C is cyan. CM. The following M is magenta. Y means yellow, and then that K means key color, and key color is black because on almost anything that you see, you always see black there. That's what it's used for. So CMYK is used for. I'm trying to explain it broadly now. CMYK is used for print design, okay, and then RGB is used for screen design. So if you want to go and print a flyer now, the printer will always use color mode of CMYK. But if you are designing for screen, it's advisable that you use RGB, okay, because RGB is kind of more sharp. It's sharper than CMYK. That's the basic color mode that we have. But we have more. The more that we have hexadecimal code. Now, hexadecimal code combine number. That's it. You know hexadecimal now. That's base 16. It combines some numbers to represent colors, and it starts from zero to F. So we have 0, 1, 2, all the way to when you get to 9 now, we now have 10. We move on to A, B, C, D, and F. That's to represent in base 16. I know it may be a little bit complex, but I'm trying to give you the broad definition of hexadecimal code. So if you say FFF, let me even open the color wheel now. It will now be always white. That's full presence of light. And when you go to black, it will now be 0000000. I will still talk about color and their mode and the way they behave this way. For now, I'm using HSB, which stands for hue, saturation, and brightness. Let me go back to X code. So now, if I want red now, I can go on to this FF000. These are the code that this color are representing. Let me just stop there for now. They are the code that this color are representing. So in between them, their number is going to be combined together. For example, let's say green. You can see green that we have here now. Green also have their own code. You only have in 00FF40. And then we have blue and all of those. So they are going to be combining this number from 0 to all the way to F to represent the number. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of explaining it one after the other, so that doesn't take much of our time. But these are just like the way color is representing in design. So we have RGBA, we have hexadecimal code, and we have CMYK. So CMYK is used in print design. Because of Figma is not meant to be designed to design for print design. That's how we don't even have CMYK in Figma. But if you're using Photoshop, you have CMYK in Photoshop, you have CMYK in CorelDRAW. But in Figma, we always use RGBA and hexadecimal code. Now, this hexadecimal code can be also be used with CMYK. Now, Figma is using it to represent it in RGBA, but you can also use it in CMYK. But the main thing is you should understand is just like this combine some number to represent color. That's just it. In Figma, you can actually put yellow. You can write yellow here, yellow to be yellow. You can write black. You can see that its number is changing. It's not in bold again. You can write black. You can write white. Those are the key color that their name is explicit. You can use let's say orange too. It will be there. But then what Figma actually use most of the time is hexadecimal code. Maybe if I find an article on it online, I will send it to the group chat. And we also have CSS, not this one, but the one I like to use most of the time necessarily is HSB, because this one is kind of simple when you think about it. It just means hue, saturation, and brightness. We'll talk about that as time goes on. All right, so let's just say FFF just stands for white, as you know now, or true. And 0000 stands for black. Just memorize that. Memorize that. But let me go back to white for now. The reason why it's not showing because of this opacity. Color, just like layer, has opacity. So for example, if you see a particular black and that black is looking somehow, or you can see through that black, that means that black is transparent. That's the meaning of opacity. And if it is 0, you won't be able to see the color again. But if it is 100% like this, you'll be able to see it. When we talk about the spectrum, we are still going to come back to it. Okay. But did you at least understand something from that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We'll talk about color. Color is something that is crazy. After we talk about color, we can't even finish everything about color in this book. Let me just be honest. After we talk about color, we're going to use them or their attributes. We talk about their naming. We still need to talk about the way to use them. Some people know how to use color naturally. They just have this eyes for color. But someone like me, I don't have that eyes. So color is a science. I have to learn the color of the science behind color. Be able to use color correctly. When I'm just starting, if I show you my designs, you'll be like, yeah, that design, they are not looking good at all because of the way I put the color. I just, when you put um when you put color that so much together, the design will just be totally off, no matter how the layer looks. So that's one thing about color. We still need to talk about the way to use the color. Okay, so let's continue for now. So the size of this one is 688 by 857. So 688 by 857. Okay, good. So I'm going to rename it. Always try to rename your layout so that you can be able to, all the people that your team, you have to understand what it is for. Let me call it contact image. I'm going to use IMG for short. So I want to move it to the top now. And I want you to want to move it to the top. Just click on the particular frame and then press up arrow like this. It's moving to the top now. If you want to see the measurement, hold Alt, excuse me, hold Alt, and then click on, keep on clicking, keep on clicking the up arrow on your keyboard. I want to make it 60, like this, and I want you to make it 60 to the left. So 60 to the top, 60 to the left, and 60 to the bottom. We are practicing a concept that is called consistency now. We are still going to talk about this in detail when we are talking about design principle. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and I'm going to put in this test. So let me write the test out. So we've not talked about test, but it's not hard. Just go to this place and click on this T test. Click on it and then click um your frame. Say your frame. Just write what is there. Get get in touch with us. Okay. And I want to make it in cap lock now. You have a different way of doing that in Figma. You can go to this place. We don't talk about this place, so but you can go to this main menu. This main menu just like um other thing that you can other thing that you can do with your layout. Or if you want to combine multiple layouts, they're just like more menu, basically more menu. Then we go to text and you can make it uppercase here. When you go to text, you can see under text you have bold, Italy, underline, so on and so forth. Just go to case and then make it uppercase here. Okay. You can do this in a different way. You can go to this text tab under the inspector and click on this tab setting and then switch here uppercase. Okay. So for now though, I want to just drag it to this place. Okay. And I will make it to be 70 points. Okay. Get in touch with touch. So I want the space. So press Alt on your keyboard and then press the right button so that you can be able to increase. You can press the right arrow again, 66, 76, and then 86. But I want to make it 80. Okay, there we go. So we are there now. I want to align into the top with this one. How do we do that? So let me use that one to teach you a little bit of alignment. Click on this test that has been clicked here. Then hold shift and then click on this image, contact image frame. When both of them are selected, okay, just go to this place, align top, and then align them to the top like this. Now they are aligned to the top. Okay. So click on the test again and hold on, press port, press and hold port and click and drag it like this to duplicate it. Alternatively, you can also press Ctrl D like this and then do it this way. But always use that alt method because that alt method is a bit faster. And then we can edit it to what we have here. What we have here is we like to hear from you and assist you. Okay. So make sure it's selected here and then change the point from 70 to 26 like this. Once you change to 26, and by the way, the text I'm using here, if your own is not selected, is Teco. So it's Teco. So you can use something like maybe Manrope, those are Google fonts, or you can use the built-in one, which is Inter. But for now, let's stay with this Teco. We'd like to hear from you and assist you. I'm missing XA. So I don't want this thing to be in capital letter. I want it to be in small letter. For this case. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to click here and I'm going to go to this small menu, test, case, original case now. Okay. So the space that I want to have between them is 16. So click on this and then see them here. So there's no space here. That's why it's not showing any place. So when you click on it, it's not showing any place like this. Just click on down arrow. You can see you now have in space. And that's 16. That's what I want to have there. Okay. So when you click on this description and then this heading, press shift to click on both of them together and then right click. So when you right click, you can then group them together. So group made them to be inside of a group. Okay. I will talk about group and frame. The difference between group and frame is just like a box. Okay. But group is just like if you are tying something together with a rope. So you can see with frame, it's easy for you to carry them all around. With group, almost it's easy, but there are something that you can do with group, with frame. I won't be able to do with group. That's just the difference. Because if it's like a bus now, both of them are in a bus, you can throw it to somebody else very easily. But if you're turning with a rope, if you throw it sometimes it can scatter along the way. So that's why I like to use frame most of the time. You can change this group to frame. And the way to do that is just go to this particular place. If you select this group, go to this place and then change it to frame like this. That's a frame, not a group again. So we can rename it to contact header. Now, I have begun to teach you the right way to do things in Figma because we don't have time to be doing this one, this one. I'm beginning to teach you the right way of doing things in Figma. So let's continue. The next thing is to have this label and this placeholder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on test again. Time has gone on. So let me let me write name. Okay. This name now, I'm going to create a frame. Let me take a look at the height and width. Make sure that you can be able to work with the same measurement. The height is 550 and the width is 55. So 550, 55. Let me give it a color so we can see it. But what I want to do is I don't want to give it a fill. I want to give it a stroke. Okay. So under this, please go to stroke. Even without explaining this now, at least you can see um, what they are doing by practicing them. So go to stroke, click on stroke now. You have stroke. When you have stroke now, you can remove this field because stroke is just like like an outline. Remove this field and then make this stroke to be white. You can see the difference between stroke and field now. Okay, but this is too white. I don't want that too white color. I don't want pure white. I want it to be a little bit darker like this. The white is FFFF. So this one is 737373. Okay. So I want to align it to fit in here. To align it to fit in here, you can just click on this frame and drag like this, and then click shift. Make sure you click on this frame first. Click shift. Both of them are selected. Then go to your alignment here and click on left align. So this one will now align with this one. Okay. And as you can see, I'm doing this with frame, not with rectangle. That is because I want the text I'm going to be writing to go inside of this particular frame. That was basic. If I want to move it around or if I want to duplicate them. So next thing, let me just click on this text and I'm going to click on inside this frame and I will write placeholder. Okay. So this placeholder too, make sure it's inside this frame and then you can just make the size to be all space to be 12, 12 and 9, 9. So 12 to the left, 9 to the top, and 9 to the bottom like this. Okay. So we are using 7373 as the color of this stroke here. So let's do the same thing to the color of this text because it's a placeholder. Okay, good. So click on this frame and then rename it to input box. That's where the user will be able to input their name. So make sure you click on it and then click on this name and then let them be what? Align the left. Okay. So the space you can see we have here, this space. It's showing us that the space here is 15, is 5. So make sure it's set to 16 like this. Okay. And then group them. I want to group them inside of a frame now. So how do I do it? To do it, just right click. You will see here we have frame selection. So click on it. The shortcut to that is Control Alt and G. Click on it now. They are now inside one frame, all of them like this. So this frame now we can then rename it to let's say input. Let's just call it input or something like input wrapper. Since we have input box, let's call it input wrapper. In fact, don't let us call it input wrapper. Let's just call it name. And this one is for name. Okay. So we can edit this one too, just to give it a little bit of effective user experience. You can say enter your name. Okay. So the user now can be able to just know that this is all about name. And you can even call this one full name if you like. Full name. Enter your full name. Okay. So now that we have this, now we can duplicate it like this. Okay. Make sure the space is 16 too, like this. So this one is going to be, is it email? Okay, email. So this one will be enter your email address like this. Okay. Then we can duplicate it again. Once again, press, hold and drag, and then let it be 16 like this. And if I'm designing, I don't do things this way. I use auto layout. We have not even talked about auto layout now. That's why I just let us be in free form now. So let me edit this one to message. Message. So you can just use enter your, or let's say type your message. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to design this button. For the button, now I can actually use frame too, but just for the purpose of practicing what we've learned so far in rectangle, let me just use rectangle, and you can see the difference between rectangle and um, So let me make it A. Good. So I will select this one and I'm going to select this one. And I will align it to the bottom like this. Very good. So this one has 50 and 56. Right. Let me make this one to have the same thing. 550 and 56 like this. Okay. So I'm going to type again. So you might want to, because of this is a frame now, you want to follow that particular path. But that's not what I want. I will just type here and say send message. You can't see what I'm typing here, but you can see it here. Because of the color is black. I just click it and then I will drag it to this place. As I told you before, that if you want to select something in your Canva, you can use shortcut I and then select that. So you can see Figma is not hard. Figma is very simple. So okay, we're good to go now. So I click on this one now, and I'm going to change the color to black. So once again, I'm going to click on I, and I'm going to click on this place to make it black. So select this send message, the text, and then the rectangle, and then go to this place, alignment. Align it horizontal center and align it vertical center so that this text will be at the center. Okay, we're almost done. So up next, let's change this text box to make it white because this one is just like where you start can type message. But before we do that, I want to move all of them down. So this one, this name, this name, this name. I will now make sure that they have 32, not 24, 32 like this. Okay. So now I will select this input box here, the one inside of the message, and I'm going to align it here. I want the space to be 16. So you can see 41. I want it to be 16. 30. I mean, not 16. Yeah, 16. 16. Shouldn't be 16. Should be about 24. I want it to be 24. We have 22 now. Okay, let me make this one 24. This one is 16. Let me make it 24. 24. And this one too. You want it to jump by 10 points. You press shift. 24. And then this one to be 24 too. This is showing us as 26. We just need to add 2 now. If you add 2, it will be 24. And I've not told you that here you can do calculation here. So click on this input box and then go on to this height. What we are increasing is height. So the height, just press shift and plus on your keyboard like this. So that you can add 2. You add 2 to now be 261. So it will now be 24 now. Okay. So let's increase this frame to fit in here like this. Okay. And there. Good. So here we have it is 62. I don't want it to be 62 actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to group all of them together in a frame. If I let me rename this one first, this one is name. This one is should be email, not name. Almost done. This one should be message. And this one should be okay. We have not grouped this one. So this rectangle and this text. Select both of them together. Right click. Then go to frame selection. Rename it to CTA. And let's just say submit button. Okay, good. So select this one, this one, and even this one, and call it um, put it inside of a frame selection, and call it contact content. Here we have contact image, right? This is contact content now. I want it to be 60 like this. Okay, 60 like this, and this one to be 60. Okay, here we go. So maybe I wouldn't want this one to be yellow. Maybe I can think it's something like blue. Yeah, instead, okay, this way. But let's put picture here before we go. So you can go to pre-pick, pre-pick. Your picture must not be the same. Oh. That's why I want to even show you a pre-pick. So let's just say a lady, a smiling lady, something like that. Probably something like this. You click on download. Yeah, I'll be showing you some more resources. But this free pick, you can get anything like icon, you can get pictures, you can get illustration, patterns, anything from there. So once you download it, just go back to your Figma. We're not talking about how you can import something from Figma. Quickly brush it now. So select this frame, this contact frame, and then go to this field, go to image. Okay. So upload for computer. I think I already saw you this in download. So this is the place that will just download it and then click on it. It's loading now. Okay, good. So there we go now. So just for us to be able to have a very good um visual balance now, I'm going to select this color and I'm going to put it to this orange. So there we go. One last thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't take more time. So it's okay. So what you're going to do is you go and create this thing. So use different image, use different type settings. You can use inter, you can use man you can use anything. Just brush through what you have here. Okay. Yeah, so because it's just the way that we created it together here. So this is going to be the end of the class. We're going to stop here for now. And I think you get something from this class. I know the way I'm talking, I'm fast. You can't be able to follow me all along. That's the reason for the recording. Imagine there's no recording now. How will you go through it later? Okay. So that's it for now. Is there any question?
Yeah, will the assignment be posted on the bootcamp or the playground?
Okay, good now. So this assignment now, I'm done with my own now. What I'm going to do is, let me log this one. What you are going to do is copy it. I showed you before. Copy, and then go to students page. That's the reason for students page. So this student page, go and select your report sheet. This report sheet, and then click on it.
Yes, sir.
Right click, and then paste here. Okay. Then you can then drag it to this place. So this is how you submit your assignment. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay. So that's the reason why I have that particular thing there. And that's all for now. Is there any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. So you can go ahead and add your own thing. You can maybe here You can add corner radius if you like this. You can do all sort of things with it. Okay, but just because once you've created like this, you may feel like it's simple. Let me even show you. It's one of my designer. Maybe you see the reason why I'm teaching all these things. So you know that it's a very good design. It's a really well design. This is taking time now. So you can see it's a tattoo website that I designed in the past. And this is the contact us page. This is the first page there. It's like the Europe section of that contact us page. Let me show you the full website. So you can see. And then this is what we just designed. So step by step, you have become user interface designer. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, for joining the bootcamp today, lecture today. It's nice having you around. So you say there's no any question, and I believe that you learned one or two things from this uh, lecture. So I'm going to end the recording now, and I'm going to stop the video. If you have any question, you can always ask in the general group chats, or you can ask in my DM if it's something that is not about the bootcamp. If it's about the bootcamp, let's ask in the main group so that other people can also benefit from the question. Thank you so much. Is there any observation, any requirements, any question?
Okay, excuse me, sir. Can I talk? Hello?
Yes, you can. I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. But I really appreciate the class. I was following at some point before I got lost. I just want to beg you. It's not like I'm begging. There are people like us that we don't know anything about design. You get. So I'll go back to the class again, and I'll go back to the class, the recording. But maybe in your next class, I don't know, like maybe I don't think I can slow down a bit because I got lost at some point. I didn't fully again,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, I'm
I'll go
thinking
to the
about this.
recording.
You see, I'm thinking about this, but it's not going to be now. There will be some class that I will explain something for 30 minutes, and I will have you work for 1 hour, 30 minutes. You understand? But not now, because now you don't do anything. So it's always okay for you to go back to the to the recording, or even you can browse something on the YouTube that you can even learn by yourself. And then when time comes that you're going to be doing practical stuff all by yourself, I'll just be here, just be seeing how you're going to be doing it. Okay. So that time will come. But for now, I have to go a bit fast now so that you not be too slow.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So if you go back to the recording, you'll be able to catch up back.
Okay, please, I have a
Thank
question.
you.
Good
Thank
evening,
you.
sir.
Okay. Good evening, Precious.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for today. I also got lost at some point, but I mean, I will go back to the recording and then catch up. So my question is, this UIUX design now that we're learning, is it the same thing with graphic design?
A
Because
very good question.
I did graphic designing. Like, is it similar? I did graphic designing last year, and there are some of the features they are touching that is similar to graphic design. So I just want to know.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this question now. What do you think graphic design is all about? How will you define graphic design?
Yeah, I think it's basically putting together some collections of image, color,
Yes.
so
In what
picture.
aspect? What are you designing? Are you designing a logo, a flyer, or what?
Okay, basically it's flyer.
Okay, that's one thing that you need to know. When talking about design, there are many aspects or types of variant of designs. Graphic design as a whole is just like a technical term to means computer graphics designs. Okay, so if you are talking about it technically, UI designs is still graphic design, but it's not flyer designs. When you're talking about graphic designs, in our own terms now, we always mean flyer design, we mean logo designs, we mean branding design. It's not the same thing as user interface design. So on a typical day, the graphic design flyers. We have graphic design as flyer design. We have graphic design as brand designer, We also have them as maybe corporate designs, and the list is just endless. Those are what they do. They design flyers. Some of them take it a little bit further to design branding. When I'm talking about branding, I mean full company branding, like typography, like logo, like color that the company be using, and so on and so forth. That's what they specialize in. But what we are doing here is not flyer design, it's digital design. And I talk about this in the first class, if you were there, like digital product design. For example, you have OP application on your phone. OP is a digital product. It's not physical product. Okay, if you don't use OP app again, now they will not get money again. So that application is designed by digital product design. That's the work of UIUX designer. So UIUX design digital products, not flyer. So some things that we also, as far as design is concerned, something like color, iconographies, text are going to be the same or similar to the way people that design flyer do it, but it's not the same. But there's some people that actually know both. Okay, most of people that I know that are very good in UI design, that like mentor to me, they started as graphic design, but as time goes on, they change to UI design. I don't know why. So that's how it is. But as a UI design, your work is not flyer designs. You can be able to, you can know how to do it in the future if you feel like it, but their role is different. But in some cases, some people that want to hire you as a graphic designer, they will also ask, can you do a little bit of UI design? Because now the world is going digitally, and they need more of UI design. I won't even lie to you. Even though at some point, if you're just starting, it may be hard for you to get job in this field. But if you are good, and I can tell you, if you are good, you always get job to do. That's it. But it's slightly different based on what they do. What graphic designer do is flyer, and they use Photoshop most of the time. Industry standards to tools for graphic design is Photoshop and Illustrator. But for UI UX, we always use Figma. We also have other ones too, but Figma is what is commonly used. So that's the difference. So you are not designing flyer, you are designing interface. And interface can be websites, web application, it can be mobile application, it can be smartwatches, what user can be able to interact with. That's just it. So it is not only flyer. Flyer is just a flyer. Next week, flyer may expire. That's the end of that flyer. If you have a event in church now, we give the design to graphic designers to design the flyer for us. Then after some points, after the event, that's the end of that flyer. But as a product designer, OPay that we're using since last year, you are still using it. Although they are improving it, but it's still OPay. So that's the work of UI design. Your work will now be what? To improve the design, not to even start from scratch again. That's the work of UI design. So they are similar in one way or the other, but they are not the same. But people ask me, can I use Figma to design flyer? And as I told you, I have professional graphic design in the group chat now. They have been in the field for about, some of them 5, some of them 6 years of experience, but they still want to learn Figma to do something. So you can use it, but it's not for it. I'm not going to teach you graphic designer or flyer designer. It's not for it. That means there's something that you're not able to achieve with Figma as far as flyer design is concerned. But you can do a lot of stuff or basic stuff, but it's not for it. If you want to fully learn graphic designing or flyer designing, then Photoshop is suitable for that, or Illustrator. But when it comes to flyer design, Figma is not the best tool, but at least you can use to do some things, work around. Me too, I used Figma when I was in church. I used Figma to, I mean, when I was in Abuja, I used Figma to design some flyer for our Friday event, our Friday night Fiji. But it is not robust. It is not a robust tool for it. That's just it. If you want to learn flyer design now, you are still going to be learning Photoshop in one way or the other. And if you want to learn UI design, you're going to be learning um, Figma. Okay,
Yes, sir. That is clear. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Any other question? Okay. In absence of no further questions, so I'm going to be ending the class now. Again, thank you so much for joining, and do have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. So you can leave now. I'm going to end the call now. So bye everyone.